Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and some of you saw the other day when I made this spacer. It's got the little slots in it, double keyway, to go over these bushings. And you notice that I got off a little bit on having them exactly across from each other. I was probably, I would guess, 10 thousandths off, at least, maybe more, maybe less, but they weren't perfectly across. Now, when I made my first gear, it had these little slots in it, and they needed to be just right. Well, I had a little tool that I had made that I used to cut keyways. I didn't have the keyway broach like I used on that spacer there. And with it, I managed to make it exactly right. And I'll show you what it looks like in case you wasn't here. Alright, this is the device that I used. I put the gear in the chuck, and my back gear has indexing holes around the rim of it. I'll show you those in a minute. So what I did was I marked one of the indexing holes with a magic marker, of course, so I could find it again. And then this little device right here has got a tool bit of the right size in the end of it. And so the way I did it was I just took this lever and pulled it back and forth just like a hand-operated shaper. And it did the job just fine. Alright, when I got the keyway to the right depth, then I came over to the indexing holes here in the back gear, counted halfway around, so it'd be 180 degrees away, and then it's back to working this handle. Now that works just fine, but it works slow. After all, it probably took me a half hour to cut, you know, one keyway right. Maybe not that long, but it seemed like it. And that's why I got the you know, the broach. But this thing would have continued to serve me because I made it with a removable end here, so that you can make little holders for various and sundry sized tools. Or I guess I could have added more than one tool to each spot, but that would maybe have been more complex. And I'm not throwing this thing away because it could still come in really handy on something, especially if it's something too big for me to make a bushing or something like that. Well, I can swing this thing way over here, you know. So it's a good tool. I cast a big chunk of aluminum in a 4-inch by 4-inch piece of tubing, and then I machined it down and set it up to work on the compound there. All right, but that didn't teach me how to find out how to make the bushing turn around and fit 180 degrees correctly. And after I had done that stuff, I woke up the next morning with a solution right there in my poor old head. And so I thought, well, son of a gun, why didn't I do that? So we're just going to go ahead and do that today, and then I'm going to take this gear and cut another set of holes in it with my new solution here, and they'll be dead on, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so I copied this bushing, machined a piece like it. I've got it over here in this 5C collet, and I'm going to cut on one side of it. One side will be cut as deep as this guy to take, you know, to cut the keyway. The other side is going to be shallow enough that a key will fit in it and fit into the slot made by this other side. Okay, so there are going to be two unequal sides, and it's going to work out just wonderful. All I need to do is change this out and put the 3/16 end mill in it, and we'll get after it. So I'm going to put you guys to sleep until I get it set up here. Okay, so I'm going to use the little wiggler to find the center of this thing, and I know that this collet block is 1 3/4 inches, so what I'm really going to do is I'm just going to find this jaw, and right in between them should be dead center, because the collet block, everything's going to be in the center of it. So if I got the center of the collet block, I got the center of the piece I'm working on. I think that's probably as reasonable of a way that I can do as any. Okay? So away we go. There, now put a towel in it. Zeroed X right there. I mean Y. Zeroed Y right there. I really did zero X, but I meant to do Y. And we'll try it again. Alright, so that's going to be the other side. I'm going to divide it by 2 and set my 0. I'm going to change tools, so I'm going to put you to sleep for a second. Alright, so I set the Z-axis, also known as the Z-axis in places where they speak English, and we're going to just cut us a little groove there. It's going to be half the depth of a 3/16 keyway. You know what I mean. Alright, lock down the table, and we will cut through this little end piece first, and then I'll go on down to the right depth. Sort of a preliminary cut. Alright, I expect that was the maximum depth of cut you should do with a 3/16 end mill. Now I'm going to drop it down about 20 thousandths. So from here it's just rinse and repeat until I get down to the right depth, and then we'll wake you guys up again. Okay, so I've took the job into hand, and you can see that I've cut this side for the brooch to go in, and this side for the key to hold it straight when after I do the first side. So now then, what I need to do is to put this thing in the bandsaw and cut it off here, because the groove of course only goes down to the collet, and that will leave it, I'd say, maybe 1/10 of an inch shorter than the original, but in as much as I'm not cutting keyways that deep in anything, it'll be just fine. I had to have something to hold in the collet, and I didn't want it to be any longer than that, so I'll go and cut the thing off in the saw. I guess this project started in the bandsaw and it's ending there almost. Alright, so here's the original bushing, Here's the special one for doing the job. The new one is shorter than the old one because I only need it to go through an inch maximum of depth, such as that. And so I made it shorter. It just, you know, I didn't see any need to make it longer, or I would have. So now let's go and get the brooch and take this little gear, and we'll put ears through this way. And I'll mark these so you guys will see that I'm not cheating. Here's the old ears, or old keyways, whatever you want to call them. They're marked. And we will go and see if the brooch makes it just right real quick now. Okay, so let's cut the slots and see what we got. Messing up on things like this comes from not having experience, and unfortunately that's me. No experience at being a machinist. Or I'd have figured this out the first time around. I think I'm going to have to help it just a little, maybe. Let me put something under it. I'll wake up in a second. Alright, I forgot to lubricate it first time through, so it was a little sticky. And the width of my slot may not be as large as one made with a metric cutter, which I'm sure they were using. I don't know. I mean, it should be exactly 3/16. So, anyway, I'll lube this one up. Okay, so I've turned it around. I put a key in the side that we already cut there. It's trying to slide through on me, but it's there. And we'll make the first cut on this side, which should go a lot easier with me remembering to lube up the the broach. Forgot the first time through and it got a little sticky. Okay, now then we'll pull that guy out, and we'll put the shim in it and go back through again. So we get grip on this, and where's my shim? Here's the shim. We'll put the shim in it, and then we'll go back through again. I guess I need to put my key in there. It only needs 6 hands to do this. Well, come on. Ah! That was my thumb. I don't know if I cut a gash out of it or not. I dropped my key. That'd burn it. Just like last time, I started emptying out the box, only to find out there wasn't anything in the box. It was laying outside. I'm going to close the valve here. And that job took a little bloodshed. Have you ever noticed when you got blood running down on your fingers that it always feels like a lot more than it really is? It's weird. Anyway, with the use of this bushing, I put a key into this side of the little booger there to hold it straight while I cut a keyway on the other side. Okay, so now these are the old ones, and here's the new ones. And I haven't deburred it, but there you go. Slides right in. Fits just right. I don't see any light in the wrong places or anything, so there you are. That's what I should have done the first time around, but I didn't have enough experience to think of it. There you go. Perfectly lined up. Slides through there like silk. Job done. Let's go see if Bubba can tell us a joke or something. This very genteel lady, Texas lady, was driving down the road there, and she come to this high bridge, and she saw this guy up there on the top of it fixing to jump off. Now, if you don't know what that means, in the South, when people say they're fixing to do something, it's like, I'm fixing to get ready to go, or something like that. It means they're preparing to do something. They're ready to. Anyway, this guy was fixing to jump off the bridge. And the lady says, hey, don't jump. Think of your mother and father. He looks at her and he says, Mom and Dad are both dead. I'm going to jump. She says, well, think of your wife and children. He says, I ain't got no wife and children. He says, I'm going to jump. She says, well, think of the Alamo. He looks down and he says, what's the Alamo? She says, well, bless your heart. Just go ahead and jump, you dumb Yankee. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.